Welcome to this lesson on technology in adult education. My name's Lynn Carton, and this presentation has been prepared for ADED 325. Digital pedagogy. What's your experience? As students at the University of the Fraser Valley, we've all had at least some exposure to digital pedagogy and the use of technology. Our classes in adult education are blended learning environments, which allow both distance and in-class students to come together. We use a tool, Blackboard, to gain access to our learning content, to communicate with instructors and classmates, and to submit assignments. As we work through this lesson, think about your experiences and how they have impacted you in the past, and whether they gave you any goals for the future use of technology. In their article, Leveraging Technology in Adult Education, Iverso, Kobrin, and Hashimi stated that as educators, we grapple with how technology impacts our work and the lives of our learners. In this short lesson, we're going to look at a few key aspects of technology in adult education. We'll explore how people react to adoption of technology in order to better understand what both educators and students may face when exposed to new technology. We'll cover some of the benefits and challenges of delving deeper into a technological approach. And finally, we'll look at the importance of continuing our own development and an avenue to do so. Before we get started, take a moment to consider, what's the biggest challenge you've encountered when using technology in education? What's the most significant benefit you've experienced with technology in education? And finally, as an adult educator, what methods are open to you to continue to develop your digital pedagogy? While it's easy to get enthusiastic about technology, we must balance its benefits with the impact to students who are adopting the technology. Adult education can have a demographic with a very wide age range and a varied level of comfort with technology. It's important then that when we build technology into our courses that we allow students time to develop confidence and skills with it. Anne Russell developed a model which described how students face the challenge of learning a new technology. The first stage is awareness. At this point, students are aware that the technology exists, but they haven't used it at all yet. The second stage is learning the process. At this point, technology is intrusive. Students spend a lot of time playing around and trying to figure out how to make it work. They can become frustrated, require support, and frequently lack confidence. In the third stage, students begin to understand the process of working with the technology. It's still intrusive, but students are becoming familiar. They can take a basic process and begin to apply it to their own personal situation or tasks they want to do. They start to develop a sense of achievement and require less support. In stage 4, they start building familiarity and confidence. They begin to understand the product more solidly and have less reliance on following a step-by-step process. They gain confidence as problems are overcome and they're able to work with the product. The fifth stage is adaptation, and at this stage they begin to be able to apply the technology to other contexts. Technology becomes invisible to them at this point. They are focused on creating rather than worrying about how to use the technology. And they start to look at potential other uses for the tool. In the final stage of the model, it's creative application of new contexts. And at this stage, students can now take this technology and apply it to new and different types of work. There are many benefits to using technology. These are some of the ones I consider to be top benefits. Technology can lead to improved student engagement. Rather than just listening to a lecture, the class can become more participatory. The only limit here is your imagination and what makes sense for your learning outcomes. Technology can help to accommodate lifestyles. We all know that adult learners have a myriad of outside responsibilities, such as work and family. Technology can help make education more approachable by giving students flexibility of format, time, and place. Preparing students for the future. With good course design and technology implementation, using these tools can help prepare students for life beyond the classroom by giving them practice with tools they will use or by simulating what they may encounter in the real world. Connecting students. Technology can help to connect students and foster communications. This can happen in an entirely face to face class or across great distances. Accessibility of education. The ability to conduct distance education and have hybrid classes of the type we have here at UFV is one of the great boons of technology. Where students may not have a program or course locally that suits their needs, technology can open remote schools to them. And personalized education experience. Most adults learn best when they can apply it to their personal needs and interests. Technology is just starting to allow for more personalized education experiences, and this is an area that is going to continue to grow and expand. Of course, along with benefits, there are also challenges. Digital equity is one of the barriers that educators must be aware of when planning to use technology. If students don't all have access to broadband internet or to the required devices, it may exclude certain students from taking part. Authentic experiences. Without careful planning, curriculum designers may have difficulty in developing authentic experiences that prepare students for the real world work. Role evolution. As technology becomes more foundational to our learning environments, the role of teachers is evolving, forcing a change in how courses are designed and delivered. Lack of training. Frequently, there is a lack of training for educators in educational technologies. While institutions speak to technology adoption, frequently it is not backed up with professional development which is available to prepare the instructors. Adult educational products. There are many technologies which are developed with children in mind. The development of adult educational products has lagged behind, meaning that instructors must adapt products or work with ones that aren't optimal for adult learners. And finally, user adoption. When introducing students to new technologies, it can be challenging. There's often a widespread ability of the class, making it a delicate balance to keep students who are familiar with technology challenged while still supporting those who need to develop skills. Technology changes constantly, and the pace of that change is accelerating. While this can be seen as a benefit, it is also driving a challenge for educators in keeping up with technology. Let's take a look at an example from the book Exploring the New Era of Technology Infused Education by Lawrence Tomei. He looked at the top technologies for educational instruction in 2013 and 2016. 2013's hits included technologies such as interactive smartboards, digital cameras, and student response systems such as the clicker. When we look at the same list for 2016, there are several new technologies on the list. These include gamification, lecture capture apps, and mobile devices. What is telling is how few of these technologies are shared within that 3-year period. Digital video has become a combined digital video conferencing topic. Podcasting, social networking, and digital electronic books or ebooks are still shared between the years. Some entries have morphed. For example, while student response systems are still listed as a technology that's top, they now rely on mobile apps that any student can have on their device rather than the purchase of a specialty clicker. The important takeaway from this comparison is the fact that technology changes very rapidly. As educators who want to use or who are using technologies in our classrooms, it's essential that we keep up with technological change. This requires an investment of time and energy on our part to continue to research and adopt new technologies. We must also continually hone our skills through professional development in order to keep up with these changes and how they can be embedded in our pedagogy. Ontario Extend is part of eCampus Ontario and was developed to allow educators to build their expertise in technology enabled teaching and learning. While the site was developed in Ontario, it's open to anyone who has an interest and encourages open sharing. The belief of Ontario Extend is that how technology enabled and online learning experiences impact the learner should be the primary motivator in incorporating them. Ontario Extend consists of three main components. The first component is the learning modules, developed based on the anatomy of the 21st century educator. This portion of Extend consists of 6 self-study modules, which you can do on your own time at your own pace. Each module provides ample opportunity to learn, reflect, and practice hands-on. Ontario Extend also runs periodic cohorts, which bring together interested educators to focus on the modules over a 6-week period. While you don't have to finish in that time, the 6-week focus allows for a good introduction to each module. The next cohort will be running in January 2019. For more information, you can follow at Ontario Extend on Twitter. The second component is the Daily Extend. This is a short activity, generally 10 to 15 minutes in length, that prompts educators with a topic. You respond via Twitter, sharing your ideas with other educators. It's a quick daily fix of social media and networking, which makes you reflect, challenges your creativity, and is just a lot of fun. The third component is domains of our own. This encourages participants to develop a web presence, whether it's a blog, website, or other digital space. Doing so can help build technology skills and it allows us to be open educators and learners. The Extend folks and other people participating in Extend are there to lend a hand as you build your repertoire of technology. An added bonus of building a domain of your own is it gives you a place to post the activities you complete as you work through the modules and provides evidence so that you can earn badges of completion. In 2014, Simon Bates published his Anatomy of the 21st Century Educator. This model outlined the aspects that an educator needs to have in order to be successful in today's digitally driven learning environments. This model is used for Ontario Extend and also for other educational institutions. For example, McMaster University, where I work, uses this as one of the core components for their course development activities. The anatomy consists of 6 components. Teacher for Learning speaks to an educator's understanding of how students learn and to using that understanding to design better learning activities and experiences. As curators, we're the producers and consumers of educational resources. We must be technologists who are fluent in using learning technologies in ways that are educationally effective. The collaborator component encourages exploration and sharing of educational approaches through collaboration and networking. As scholars, we must champion effective research-based pedagogical approaches, and when working with educational technology and digital pedagogy, we must be open to new approaches and technologies, thus we must always be experimenters. The Ontario Extend modules explore each of the facets in more detail, allowing you to get hands-on with them and build them into your educational toolkit. Why not try out Ontario Extend? Let's experiment with one of the previous daily extends. If you go to the URL shown in the presentation, you'll find a daily extend prompt. These are designed to be short exercises that challenge creativity, have us consider a variety of education and technology-related topics, and to share our thoughts with others. To do the extend, simply read what it's asking for and put together your response in a tweet. You'll want to tweet it to @OntarioExtend and include a hashtag of OEXT193, which was the number of the extend for that day. You can also see what others have submitted, either by looking at the web page or doing a Twitter search on the hashtag. So, what did the results of doing this kind of activity look like? Here are some examples of responses that were given for the Ontario Extend for that day. In this short lesson, we've just looked at the tip of the iceberg for technology in adult education. We've explored both the challenges and benefits and learned how students progress through technology adoption. We've also discovered how quickly technology changes and how vital it is for educators to continue to seek professional development, to network and collaborate, and to hone their skills. It's a huge topic, and I hope that you've gained an understanding of some of these basics and that it's inspired you to go out and make your own explorations into digital pedagogy and technology in education. Thanks very much.